Hi, I'm Jo and I'm going to be doing some drama with you today. Before we get started though, it's important that you ask the people around you at home if it's okay for you to do drama, because you're going to be loud, you're going to be using your body to do lots of different actions, and it might disturb them if they're trying to work, or maybe they're trying to sleep, or perhaps they're just trying to concentrate on something. So please make sure that you've spoken to everybody around you and you're really respectful of their space. There are some activities that I will ask you to do in your own time. So make sure that you press pause and then you restart the video when you're ready. I'll be doing some stuff on the screen, but hopefully you will be joining in at home. Maybe there's a few of you all doing it together. So watch out for this emoji and then it'll be your turn to have a go. Okay, so we're going to play a game now, which is called object improvisation. So you need to take a normal, everyday object that most people have and turn it into something completely different. So the first object we're going to use is a toothbrush. Have you guys got one of these at home? I hope so. You need them to keep these clean. So go and find yourself your toothbrush. When you've got your toothbrush, we are going to try and think to ourselves of 5 different things that this toothbrush could become. Now, you need to use your imagination for this, obviously. The toothbrush is just a toothbrush. But in this game, it could be anything. It could be a hairbrush. I should say, you want to keep this clean because I don't think you'd fancy putting it back in your mouth after it's been on the floor or wherever else it might go. So make sure you're careful with this toothbrush. Anyway, back to our 5 things. So number 1, it was a hairbrush. Number 2, it could be a microphone. La. Number 3, it could be a spyglass. Number 4, it could be something you use in the shower, a sponge to clean yourself. Very nice. Okay, number 5, what could it be? I know. It's a spoon. So get your toothbrush and think of 5 different things that your toothbrush could be. Did you get your 5 things? I bet people at home were thinking, what are they doing with their toothbrush? Don't worry about that. It's not a problem. It's drama. You don't need to care what people think about you. So, next object, a cushion or a pillow, whichever. Now, you've got to think of 5 things that this pillow could be instead. So, we could have a hat. It's rather a big hat, but you can probably balance it. It could be a cute cuddly pet. Oh, lovely pillow. It could be a shopping bag. It could be a football. Oh, be careful with that one. Make sure you don't break anything at home. It could be, I know, one that we might need if we get really bored. A punching bag. Go and think of your 5 things. Now, the next object is a bit of a strange one. It's going to be a piece of rubbish. This is a bag. So I've got a popcorn bag, as you can see. It's very delicious. And I'm going to use it to make lots of different objects. So here we go. First one is going to be a balloon. Okay, the next one is going to be, a fencing sword. Ready? On guard. It could be a knife and fork. Delicious. It could be a kite flying in the air. It could be, I think that's number 4. So it could also be, how about a beard? Go and find your 5 things with that object. we're going to play a game called 1, 2, 3. Now, obviously we can all count to 3, I hope. It sounds like it might be really easy, but it's not actually. It's really hard. If you have a partner at home, you can play this with your partner. But if you don't, you can play it with me on the screen now. So I'm going to pretend that there's 2 people here. This is one person and this is one person. And between you, you have to count to 3. But you each only say one number and you have to keep it going round and round and round in a circle. So let's pretend this guy is going to start. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It sounds simple enough, I know, I get it, but give it a go. It actually starts to get really quite difficult. So I will be your partner if you don't have one at home. And if you do, then you can pause here and you can play with your partner. So are you ready? 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2. Okay, how did you get on? Did you do it? If you think you did, then well done. If you had a few mistakes, maybe you might want to practice again. But if you think you actually really got the hang of it and it was super, super easy, then fine. But we speed it up. So this one, make sure you're ready. Off we go. 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2. It's a bit more difficult when you speed it up. It's definitely harder. So pause here, rewind perhaps, and have another go. Make sure you have mastered it before we move on to the next round. So if you think you've got that, brilliant, well done. The next thing to do is to start replacing the numbers with actions. Now, obviously you could do something like a star jump, but this isn't a PE class, this is a drama workshop. So let's try and make something quite creative, a little bit silly, quite funny, something that's interesting. First of all, we're just going to replace the number 1. So the rest of the time we'll be saying the numbers 2 and 3. But when it comes to the turn of doing number 1, instead of saying anything, you have to do an action. Now, you at home can make up your own actions. My action for number 1 is going to be this. So when we say number 1, I'm going to do that instead. And then when it's 2 and 3, we just say the numbers. Okay, ready? Let's go. 3, 2, 3, 2, did you get that? It's so much harder when you start putting in actions. I'm trying to help a little bit on the screen by kind of silently doing to help you out. But hopefully you're getting this at home and it's not a problem at all. If so, let's move on. So this time we're going to replace number 2 as well as number 1. So we'll be doing an action for number 1, an action for number 2, and then saying the number 3. So my action for number 2 is going to be boing. So we're going to have a boing 3. Okay, let's try it together. Ready? 3, 2, 1, off we go. 3. Boing. 3. Did you get it? I think you might know what's coming next. We're going to replace the number 3. So this time we're going to be making all actions and sounds and not saying any words at all. So we have got badoing, and then for number 3, I'm going to replace with a so we have got badoing, badoing. So now we're going to try and put all of them together and work together, you and I, to create that sequence. It's really difficult at this point. You have to really concentrate. So let's give it a go. Badoing. Badoing. Well done. Fantastic. If you managed to do that, that's really great. I struggle with that a lot, and it really takes a lot of concentration. Well, I hope you enjoyed those games. They were quite tricky, but good to get the brain working at least. So today we are going to be creating a monologue. Now, a monologue is a bit like a speech. You could be saying it to another character on the stage. You could be saying it to the audience, or you could even be speaking to yourself, like your thoughts out loud. In our monologue today, you're going to be talking to your grandchildren, maybe even your great-grandchildren, because this monologue is all about you, but in the future, the really old version of you. So I want you to imagine yourself with grey hair, loads of wrinkles all over your face. Maybe you're stooped over because you're so old. Maybe there's a walking stick involved. And you're going to be telling the story of your life. Now, some of this you already know because it's already happened. It's in the past or it's in the present. But some of it will be what's in the future. And that is where you're going to have to really use your imagination. None of us know what the future holds. Okay, so we're going to put together all of the information that we need to create this monologue. We're going to create a timeline of your life. So in your drama space now, try and spread yourself out a little bit so that you've got 3 different sections. Over here is going to be your past. In the middle is your present, and over here is your future. So on your timeline, we are going to dramatise your life, which means we're going to actually act it out and think about all the feelings that we have throughout these different points in our life. So first of all, let's focus on your hobbies. What is it that you liked to do when you were younger? Let's say about 3 years younger. So what could you have been doing? Is it basketball? Is it football? Is it dancing? Think about what you liked to do about 3 years ago. Then we go into the present. So this is you today. I want you to think about your hobbies. Now, I know this might have changed a little bit, especially seeing as we are in a lockdown situation. You might not be able to play basketball with a whole team of people or have a big giant football match in the park. But there are probably some things that you are doing that make you feel happy. So have a think about those. What is it that you have found to do during lockdown that you are quite enjoying? Perhaps it is drawing. Perhaps it is doing a workshop like this and being dramatic. Have a think to yourself, what is your lockdown hobby? And then let's go into the future. Now, I would say you need to be about 30 years old. So you are a proper adult in the future. What is it that you like doing? Do you like travelling the world, taking photographs? Do you like playing golf? What do you like doing? Perhaps it's partying the night away or lying on the beach. Think about those hobbies. Now, please write all of those things down. So you should have a past hobby, a present hobby, and a future hobby. Let's think about the feelings that go with them. So in the past, when you were doing whatever it is that you were doing? How did you feel about it? Did you feel happy? Did you feel excited? Did you feel carefree? Now, in the present day, how do you feel? Do you feel calm? Do you feel a little bit nervous about the way things are? What is it that comes up in your mind when you're doing your hobbies at the present day? And what about in the future? How do you think you're going to feel when you're older, when you're a proper adult, doing whatever it is that you want to do? How do you think that's going to make you feel? Make sure that you write down your 3 feelings as well. Now, let's move on. We've done our hobbies, but what about our ambitions? Now, ambitions are the dreams that we have for the future, the things that we want to do or that we want to achieve. Ambitions can be about all sorts of things in life. It could be about your job. It could be about things you want to achieve, like socially or with your hobbies. It could even be about your family. So think about your ambitions. When you were younger, perhaps your ambition was to win at sports day. Yes! In the present day, maybe your ambition is to see your friends. There you are! And in the future, perhaps your ambition is to have a whole family of your own, like a baby. Or maybe you have a super important job. Hello. Think about what it is that you wanted to do when you were younger, what you want to do today, and what you want to do in the future. So, now we've created our timeline for our lives, including your hobbies and ambitions, we also need to think about what it has been like during this coronavirus lockdown, because that is going to be the key part of your monologue. So we've got a few ways that we can deconstruct our memories here. I want you to imagine yourself before the lockdown started. So you were still at school, but life was starting to change. You'll probably remember that there was lots of things going on in the news about the coronavirus. All the shops ran out of the hand sanitizing gel and people were talking about toilet roll shortages. I want you to try and imagine what you were feeling then and what you were thinking. Were you a bit confused? Did you know what was going on really? Had you been following the news? Were you a bit nervous? They started to talk about schools closing and people maybe not being able to see their friends. How did that make you feel? Write down your thoughts about what you felt like before the lockdown started. Okay, now do you remember the last day of school? That day when the teachers were telling you, you're not coming back, not for a while. What did you think then? It must have been a very strange experience. Kind of like a holiday maybe, but at the same time, it didn't look like it was going to be very fun. Can you try and write a sentence now about what you felt like on the last day of school? And now, this is probably the most important part of your monologue. You need to talk about what it is that has made you get through lockdown successfully. So think about those things that you've been doing that you actually really enjoy. Some people, for example, have realised that spending more time with those people they live with has been a great thing and something they wouldn't have been able to do if people were still working and going to school. Some people have had time to take up a new hobby or to learn something new, which they may not have thought to do before. Have a think about what it is that you have done, or maybe that you have seen, which is brand new, but great. And now, what are you really looking forward to? This is almost the best question, because in your imaginations now, you can go wild. What is it that you're really looking forward to being able to do once lockdown is finished? Is it going to the park to see all your friends, or going back to school, seeing those teachers that you haven't seen for a really long time? Maybe meeting up with family members, maybe going out for a really great meal somewhere, eating loads of ice cream. I don't know, you decide, anything you want to. What is it that you're really looking forward to doing? Right, we now have quite a lot of things that we can use to put together in our monologue. You've got all of the stuff that we thought about on your timeline, all of your hobbies and goals and ambitions from your past, present and future. And you've also got all of these memories around the coronavirus lockdown. Some of them might not be the best memories. Maybe some of the feelings you had were a bit negative, maybe confusion or worry. But there have been some positive things that have come out of it as well. And people in the future are going to want to know what it is that we did and the things that we told ourselves to help us get through this very difficult situation. This is the monologue that you're going to be writing. So let's go back to that thought about yourself being very old and grey and full of wrinkles and hunched over maybe with a walking stick. And let's start writing your monologue. To help get your monologue started, I am going to pretend to be your grandchild. I know it's very strange. I'm very much older than you are. But let's just imagine, because if I pretend to be your grandchild, I can ask you the questions. And then your monologue is the answer to my questions. Let's have a go. Grandma, Grandpa, can you tell me about what happened in 2020? You know, like that weird lockdown thing with the coronavirus. Apparently, you all had to stay inside your houses or like stay away from people, like 2 meters apart. And no one went to school and no one went to work. I mean, it sounds a bit weird. How did you survive? Was it really awful? Were there any things that were actually fun? What did you want to do? The first thing you want to do when you got out of lockdown? I don't know how you did it, you know. I don't think I would be able to. Really? You think I would? Well, how? Here are some sentences which might help you write your monologue if you get a bit stuck. You can use them if you want to, but you don't need to. If you've got your own ideas, go for it. So the key points for your monologue are: what did you do during lockdown? What were the feelings that you had? And how did you cope? What hopes did you have for the future? And what did it feel like when you achieved your dreams? Did you create your monologues? I hope so. Now, the next thing we're going to do is perform them. Now, I know it can be quite tricky in this situation to be able to perform because there isn't a stage and there isn't audiences available ready to watch you, but you can still do it. So perhaps there is somebody at home that might be able to watch you. Now, they might not be able to watch you straight away because they could be busy doing something else. So perhaps you could ask them if they can give you some time. Maybe that's later today or even another day. And you can put your monologue somewhere safe so that you can bring it out again when they're ready to watch you. Or if people aren't able to watch you, perhaps there just won't be enough time. You could always do it in front of the mirror. You could even film yourself, maybe on a phone or a laptop if you possibly can. Film yourself and then watch it back. But don't forget, this is not you now, this is you in the future. So we need to add in a little bit of acting. Remember, you've got your hunched over shoulders, you might have a very croaky voice, you're full of wrinkles, grey hair. Perhaps there are some clothes at home that you could put on which show you as an older person. Now, maybe don't go raiding your parents' wardrobes without them knowing first. Perhaps there's something that you have in your own wardrobe which you could make into a costume for yourself. And then, just as we have done here, clear the space. Ideally, there will be someone watching you, but if not, you can get your recording device or even your mirror in front of you. Stand tall and proud, maybe a bit hunched over though, and give your monologue. But when you've finished doing your performance, please don't throw your monologue away. Keep it somewhere safe. Because in that monologue, there's loads of hope and ambition and goals and reminders that actually things aren't always so bad. There have been happy moments during this lockdown. And if you find a moment where you're feeling pretty glum, pretty bored, then perhaps you can go back to that monologue and you can read it to yourself. It's like you're giving yourself a lesson. So make sure that you keep it and put it somewhere safe. Well, that's it for today. That's the end of our workshop. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Well done for all that work. It was really tricky during those games to get your brain working in that way and then using all of your creativity for your monologues. It's great to be able to find that time to work on your expression, to remember that things maybe were quite difficult, but also that there are some really happy memories that we can take away from this experience as well. Hopefully, you'll find lots of other times that you can continue to be creative, even whilst we're in lockdown. And please, don't forget, keep those monologues, even if no one can see them just yet. Maybe one day soon they will be able to. And it's all part of your story, which you mustn't forget, because one day you might have to tell someone all about it.